Story time on how I went to this boy house and I had to take a shower with my shoes on, y'all. So I had to be like 16, 17. Like, this happened years ago. But pretty much I was being sneaky because I told my mom I was going to my grandma's house. Really wasn't going to my grandma's house. Really went to his house. Got an Uber over there and everything. Whatever, right? So it was so many red flags before I even got in his house. So when we put up to his house, mind y'all, he lived with his mama still. He lived with his mama and his brother. And then it's him. So we get to the house and there's trash all by the front door. Like, that was very, very weird to me. Cool. Then when he opens his front door, y'all, when I say like a big woof of like garbage, like a garbage smell hit me so hard. I'm like, ugh, like, why your house smell like that? Like, the way my face tooted up by itself, it was crazy. Okay. Then I get to the room. He had this big behind bed, small room. You literally didn't have no walk space in the room. It was just like you just got a bed in there and then you just there to sleep. Like, you ain't got no other room. You can't do nothing else in the room. Cool. Then I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go get in the shower. So I'm taking my bag with me in the bathroom, y'all. The bathroom was so nasty. I pulled that motherfucking shower curtain back, y'all. The tub was dirty. So I had my sandals on. So I'm like, well, I do gotta take a bath because I don't want to just get in the bed and I'm dirty. So I literally just showered with my sandals on. And then, like, when I got out the shower, I dried them off so he wouldn't have even known I even used my shoes in the shower because the shower was just so nasty. Like, that was crazy.
Get ready with me while I tell you about how my little cousin became my little brother. So growing up, ever since I was literally born, I've always been very close with my aunt, which is my mom's sister. Well, my aunt had 2 kids. One of them is the one that is now my brother. So my aunt had 2 kids, and then my cousin's dad had passed away in his sleep. And right after that, my aunt got super sick with cancer. So my uncle passed away, and then my aunt was super sick, and she actually beat cancer the first time, but then I don't really know the timeline, like a year or a couple years later, my aunt got cancer again. This time the cancer was a lot worse, and the doctors did tell us that it was terminal, but that she had a long time to live. Well, this time while my aunt had cancer, she was in a very abusive relationship and literally getting the crap beat out of her all the time. It was just a super toxic cycle that no one could really get her out of, and we had all tried. He had been to jail. She lived with us at one point. Every time, unfortunately, she just went back, and there was nothing we could do. Like, this guy that she was with was not good at all. Like, I vividly remember on my cousin's 16th birthday, him calling my sister a whore and throwing a chair at the back of her head and barely missing by an inch. So after that day, my mom made it a rule where if he was around, I was not allowed to see my aunt because my mom did not want us to get hurt or us to be around that, which was a very difficult time because, like I said, we had always been super close with my aunt, so it meant that if someone dangerous was around, we couldn't see her, which was understandable, but it still also sucked because then we couldn't see our aunt. I vividly remember there was one Christmas where my mom made an exception to this rule, and she actually let us go to our aunt's house, and she was like, this is the one time and we're just going to see how it goes. And I vividly remember getting screamed at by him telling me to move my legs because it was in front of the TV and he couldn't see it, and he screamed at me, so my sister screamed back and argued with him. My aunt then kicked him out of the house, and he kept trying to come back that night. So obviously then I was not allowed over there again because he was crazy. Like, a year or 2 after that, my aunt unfortunately ended up passing away. But before my aunt passed away, she used to always tell my mom that if anything happened to her, that she wanted my mom to have custody of her son, which at the time, I think he was like 6 or 7 because he's now 9. Which this was not a shock to anyone because ever since my little cousin was born, he was always at our house. Like, my mom literally was the one who picked the name for him. Well, after my aunt passed away, the guy that would literally abuse my aunt all of a sudden wanted custody of my little cousin. He also used to tell my aunt all the time that those were her kids and they were not his kids, and he wanted nothing to do with them. Which was true. They are not his kids. But the fact him saying that he wanted nothing to do with them and then my aunt passes away and he all of a sudden wants custody of my little cousin made no sense. So my mom did exactly what she was meant to do, and she got lawyers and she fought him in court for, I think, a year, maybe over a year. Like, it was a long time. And honestly, the court battle was freaking crazy, and since my aunt was no longer here, any evidence we had from her was hearsay. I don't know. which after that, my mom did get majority custody, which still sucks that he has to go over there. But yeah, that is the story time on how my little cousin became my little brother, and it was one of the best things that has ever happened to me. And before y'all come for me, I know he's not my actual biological brother, but I do consider him my brother, and I would not want it any other way. It is the biggest blessing that has ever happened to me, and I'm so incredibly grateful. But yeah, that's my story time. Bye.
Do you guys want to hear about my worst Valentine's Day ever? I'm gonna tell you. So a couple years ago, 5 years ago, yikes, I was dating somebody, and we'd been dating for like 6 months, and I told him, hey, Valentine's Day is coming up. This is my first Valentine's Day with a man, and that's pretty special. I would like to do something special for Valentine's Day, even if it's just like going to dinner, whatever. He's like, yeah, I got you. By the end of January, he still hadn't said anything to me about Valentine's Day. So I asked my friends to go on a covert mission and ask him what he had planned, obviously. So when we were all out at the bar, I went to the bathroom and they asked him, like, what are the plans for you and Brie for Valentine's Day? And he's like, don't worry about it. I got it covered. I got a reservation. Like, you got nothing to worry about. So they report this information back to me, and I'm like, beautiful. Love surprises. And it's hard to surprise me. So I was like, this is great. So I got a new outfit. I got him presents, I got him wine, I drew him a picture of us, and I wrote him a handwritten letter. And when he came to pick me up, I was so excited. He did have flowers for me, which was the first time he'd ever got me flowers. So I was stoked on the flowers. And on the way there, he was like, where do you think we're going? I was like, I have no idea. I actually am gonna be so surprised. I'm never surprised. So you really got me this time. And we're like driving out towards the beach, and I'm like, what's near the beach that's like a nice restaurant? Spoiler alert, there's not one. He pulls off into a dirt parking lot. He's like, I bet you know where we're going now. It's one of your favorite places. I'm like, this has to be a joke, because he pulled into the parking lot of a dollar slice pizza place that we go to when we go to the beach all the time. Like literally like a shack. It's a pizza shack. It's like, you sit down and you get your dollar slice pizza and your dollar beer and you go on your way. He took me there on Valentine's Day. I was like, this is really funny. This is a good prank. Now take me to the real restaurant, please. No, he was being serious. He was being so serious. So we went into this restaurant, me and my new outfit that I bought. He's like, I ordered you a Corona. I'm like, so romantic. That's what every girl wants to hear on Valentine's Day. So we eat in silence. He can tell that I'm pissed. Not even pissed. I was genuinely just really sad. He pays the $6 tab and we leave. And I'm trying to like salvage the evening. I'm like, should we go out? Should we go to a cocktail bar? Should we go get dessert? Should we go like sit on the beach? Should we go drink that wine I got you? Like, should we do something like even slightly romantic at all? And he's like, nah, I gotta be up early. Classic. So we went back to my place and he stayed over, and we literally just went straight to sleep. And I was fully like laying on his chest, crying. Couldn't help it. You know what I'm talking about, when like you're just so sad and tears are just rolling off your face a little bit. So I'm crying onto his chest, his bare chest, so he can feel it. He can feel it like fully, like it's pooling up there, Just doesn't say anything. He literally just pretended to not even notice that I was fully crying on him because I was so sad. Anyway, I did stay with him after that because I'm like, I'm not gonna break up with someone for a bad Valentine's dinner, although it was really sad. He never apologized. He never acknowledged it. He just took his gifts and left. That was a bummer. And I've since learned that is, men will they will show you exactly who they are by the way that they treat you. He clearly did not love me. He did not care about me that much, because that is not how you would treat somebody that you loved and cared about, especially when they explicitly say to you, this is important to me. So, but I did stay with him because I was 21. And then I found out a few months later that he was cheating on me, actually, the whole time. The whole relationship, Bumble, Hinge, Tinder, random girls in bars, you name it. You name it. He was there. So, yeah, I probably should have seen that coming.
Ready with me to go to dance and a story time about how I got raped when I was like 2. Okay, starting off, my mom was a single mom with 2 kids. So she needed a babysitter for work. No, he wasn't just like a random guy. My mom knew him personally. So she didn't think anything of it. And nobody did. He's watched me before. I was, like I said, I was 2. My sister was probably like 13, but she wasn't there. So at the time, it was just like me and the babysitter. Mom did not know that he like raped other kids, obviously, or she would have never let him babysit me in the first place. Like, obviously, I don't remember it, which is freaking amazing because I was 2, but details were said to me because I had to know them. There was court and everything. I'm gonna get to it. So my mom left for work and he was babysitting me. I actually don't know if he did this more than once. I think it was just once, but I could be wrong. I just deadass don't remember. But I was watching Dora, as always. I had a diaper on and I was like in a little nightgown. I was 2 years old. And then I got raped. And you're probably like wondering like how did my mom and everybody find out? Because of me. I was the one who like said something to my mom. I was like, he touched or something, and I like pointed down there. Because I wasn't an idiot, but I was also 2 years old. And then I told my mom, my dad's like a deadbeat. He was like in jail my whole entire life. And like, I don't know, I don't talk to anybody from my dad's side of the family just because they don't care to be in my life. But actually they seem to care about this. And they were actually like at the court and shit, which is surprising. And it's just like the bare minimum. Like, you should like be in my life, but like at least he came to that, and like my grandma did on my dad's side. That's probably like the only person I've ever been close with. But like, that's just besides the point. Sorry, I got off track. So I ended up telling the cops and stuff about like that he touched me, and obviously they believed me. And then I had to sit in front of one more person, but I was a bitch, and this makes me so angry. I was so scared to talk to like the judge and stuff. So I just couldn't. Like, I talked to my mom's lawyer and everything, and I like said everything fine. And like, there was one more person I had to talk to, and then he would have been in jail. So he did not go to jail for raping me. It's pretty hard, like, but like also I was 2, but like it's hard knowing like I never got justice. I don't know, because that was like so long ago, but I don't know. So I never got justice, and he's still out there doing whatever he's doing. I hope he's not touching other kids, but he probably is. I don't think I was the only victim. Hey, everything happens for a reason. But like, that's pretty much it. It's just trauma, PTSD, I don't know. But that's the makeup. I didn't even do good on it, but I have dance. I will start giving story times about my personal life because I think it needs to be shared. So, moral of the story: if you're like my age and you're gonna have kids when you're older, don't let them babysit your kids. Bye, guys.